1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. What's this? Okay. You got all the hits though. Okay, that doesn't work. So you have several options of where you need to do a delay, but you need to do a delay at some point in there. Three, five, five. Run. What? Okay. Oh. What? If you hit this meat? Is that what it is? How do you do this? How goes it? Good. Because I'm playing KoF. There's always something to think about. How do you do this? Let's watch the video. Oh, super. I see. Okay. Three fireballs in a row, huh? Yeah. You do need to delay this. Hmm. It hits very meaty. I'm gonna say this is not practical. Not practical, unfortunately. Yeah. I'll watch the rest of it though. The problem here is the distance from the opponent. Like this, if this super hits meaty, it works. Like from here. Too close. Like that. But they also need to be close to you. Right? So the distance from the corner is extremely important. Like that. did I get that move? Let's do one backdash. There we go, I got one. Like, it's not realistically doable in a match. Because they're just gonna block, right? The only way for this to work is if you hit, like, the very maximum range of this from a very specific spot on the screen. Like, if you happen to be able to combo them, like, right here. That's still even too close. Still even too close. Like, it just... You're gonna get nothing. That'll work. Maybe not. Not quite far enough. And there I was too far. Ever so slightly too far. That might work. Yeah, it's just... No. Nope. So just based on this, I would say Joe's a point character, for sure. Now let's try to maximize stun. Bam, 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 bam. $340. 346. No, that's worse. stun combo looks fun. They nerfed all of the stun combo characters. Although Joe can consistently deal more than a third of your stun bar for just one EX bar if he has you cornered. Like this. Wow. Oh, that's not right. And it's not horribly difficult. That's a strong move. But even that was almost 300, which is almost a third. And he does that too, so. Why do I keep doing that? There you go. And that works from like pretty far away, because the combo drops at the fireball, not the command normal. Like he can do this part mid-screen. It's the fireball that doesn't work. So it'll work from here. And if you don't do that, and you start with this, then it's worse. But it doesn't. So that route does more stun but less damage. I dropped it, and it's harder to do. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, what is this? It's like 350, 350. What? That looks horrible. Don't do that. Bam. Yep, got all these. Regular EX. So 1.5. He did. For this. $6B DP Super. big delay. Bam, 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 bam. Don't do that. Oh. Really? If you press A and C normally, you just get the C. But if you do it as a follow-up to this move, you get the A follow-up, not the C follow-up. Interesting. They reversed the order for those two. Please. Please. Hey, hold on. 5. Okay, so you do get extra hits there if you do like this. $385 stun? $449. I guess it's better than the 1-bar combo. I got 389 that time. But yeah, you do that if you're doing a stun combo, right? But if you're... you may as well just do these. Just throw a super at the end of these. What does that do? No. $405. hard. Oops. I think that just the way it works, your timing on the fireball is more precise if you do that. That was a combo. We can hop over Isla. I believe every character can hop over every crouching character. I believe. But you can never cross the opponent up if they're cornered. Unless they somehow exit the corner. If you're standing, you still can sometimes. Although that will depend on your character and their character. And maybe even like what move they're doing. I think Joe hops pretty high though. Let's go with Eoria. Eoria cannot hop over Isla because his legs are too freaking long. He can jump though. Every character can jump over a standing opponent, and every character can hop over a crouching opponent. Jeff. Also, every hop and every hyper hop is the same height and duration, so those are the same. And same for every jump and super jump. Well, not every one in the game, but a character's hop is always the same height as that character's hyper hop. There we go. This is so inconsistent. I'm gonna get rid of these. Get rid of them. Thank you. Okay, so if I wanted to spend an EX here, I could just do this, I guess. Oh, wait. Should be 17. Late. Maybe that doesn't work. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that works. We can do that. So that would be this. $17. But instead of going into this, you have a fireball. Yeah, we've already launched there. That is like 0 damage. Holy moly. But how's the stun on it is the question. I didn't look at the stun. I'll set that on later. Why is KoF less successful than Street Fighter? 1, because it's not called Street Fighter. And so so as far as that goes, that's the same as asking why do people still play Nintendo games? Because they're made by Nintendo. And if you ask, you know, if you ask a 60-year-old man, hey, what game should I get my kids for Christmas? They're gonna be like, get them a Nintendo. And so likewise, if you are tangentially interested in fighting games, but you know nothing about fighting games, people are gonna be like, Mortal Kombat, Super Smash Brothers, and Street Fighter, depending on what angle you come from. That's one reason. Another reason is because there's not much extra. There's not much extra to Street Fighter. Like, what are the main things that you need to have in a fighting game? I mean, realistically, it's just like walking and attacking. But most fighting games nowadays also have blocking and jumping and combos and throws and some sort of super meter system. And that's Street Fighter. That's literally Street Fighter 2. The only thing else besides that in Street Fighter 2 is character-specific details of how their moves work and glitches. Street Fighter 3 had the whole parry system. Street Fighter 4 had focus attacks and ultras. And Street Fighter 5 had the V system, which was just more moves. And if I activate my V trigger, I get more moves. And those moves are usually just combo fodder. But I also have V reversal, which is a guard cancel. And you also have V shift, which is trash. And all your characters' V skills are slightly different, but they typically beat fireballs. And then you have Street Fighter 6, which is the same, but instead of the V system, you have the drive system. So that's why Street Fighter is so popular. Is one, because it's called Street Fighter, and two, because it's very simple. Like it just has the basics plus a super meter system of some kind. And KoF is less successful because it doesn't really change like that from game to game. The developers made one type of game and they're like, hey, this game seems fun. And they're right. And they sort of sometimes do weird twists with it, but the game is fundamentally the same in 15 as it was 20 years ago. It's basically the same. The main thing that's changed is it's a little bit slower, a little bit easier, and it looks different. And defense is a little bit stronger, a little bit, not much. And some of the old characters got new moves. But the fundamental way you play the game is the same. Like, you have hops, you have rolls. You have to anti those hops, otherwise you are in trouble. You have a guard gauge, so you can't block forever. Like, all these things are the same. Those things don't stay the same in Street Fighter. Like, the basic core concept of you have 6 buttons, and you can walk back and forth, and you can anti-air, and you can cancel moves into special moves is the same in all Street Fighter games. But one, the character individual strength is a lot better in Street Fighter. And two, the super meters change drastically. Like, the fundamental system of the game will change. From Street Fighter 1 to Street Fighter 2 to Street Fighter 3 to Street Fighter 4 to Street Fighter 5 to Street Fighter 6. All those games have completely different systems. And, like, technically, yeah, KoF 15 is different from 14 because of this. and you know they changed max mode a little bit, and they changed the way juggles work a little bit from 13 to 14. But it's not that big of a deal. You know, like now, oh, every character has a wall bounce anti-air. They made anti-air stronger, cool, but they didn't add anti-airs to the game. Like, every character can still anti-air. Like, when they added parries to Street Fighter 3, it's like... every character can parry now. That changes the way I play the game. In fact, that is the whole game. People seem to like Street Fighter more. It's more likable. KoF has an entry gate. I disagree. I don't believe in entry gates. Like, even if it's the hardest game imaginable, that doesn't mean that you can't play it. It's not a gate. The only gate there is buying the game and playing it on a stable internet connection. And even then, you don't even need that. You just make a friend and invite them over. It's not a gate. That doesn't make sense. Realistically, what's going on in that sense is, because the game hasn't changed for 20 years, there are people who have been playing the game for 20 years. And you can already see this with Street Fighter 6 with the cracked version. There are certain players in Street Fighter 6 who've been playing the game for a year. Or half a year. And the players who've been playing the game for half a year are a lot better than the players who have not been playing the game for half a year. You know? So now you have people who are trying to play KoF 15 who've been playing it for a year or two, versus the players who've been playing the game for 20 years and they're losing. And the game is deep enough. The game is deep enough to allow that to happen. So, like, if you have two axes on a graph, and this is time spent playing the game, time versus skill level, or your likelihood of winning. You know, let's say Street Fighter looks something like this. Blue. Street Fighter would look something like this. That's Street Fighter. And then KoF will look something like this. Ugh. And then it keeps going, because it takes a lot longer to master KoF. Something like that. Where Street Fighter has a lot of really simple stuff that's important. And that stuff exists in KoF, But there will always be players who know the other stuff, because the game has other stuff, whereas Street Fighter really doesn't. So your effective skill at the beginning in KoF is shorter, but your potential ceiling is a lot higher. And you will also just sort of get better over time. It's a very malleable game. Like in KoF, the difference between standing here and standing here is drastic, and Street Fighter players aren't going to get that. They won't understand why, because they can't hop. Like, if I'm here, I can hop, and it'll work. But if I'm here, I can hop and it'll whiff. And that's huge. But not only that, not only is that tiny change of spacing really important, you have to apply that to all 4 jumps. Because you have hops, and you have hyper hops, and you have jumps, and you have super jumps. So you have to apply that 4 times, and you don't know what range you're at because it takes time to hop. Like, during the time that I'm hopping, he might move somewhere, which means that the range is different from what I thought it was. Not to mention reaction time. Not to mention each character has different hop speeds and distances and range on their attacks while hopping. So it's like, technically you could be like, okay, this is Joe. Joe moves 275 pixels when he hops, and 389 pixels when he hyper hops, and 400 pixels when he jumps, and 469 pixels when he super jumps, and the range of his heavy kick is 125 pixels. And so if you add those together, you get this number. And now I'm gonna compare that to all the other characters. And now if this character's running at this spacing for this number of frames, he might be in range of this move, but only if he times it. Like, you can't do that. I mean, you can, but you're gonna lose. You can do that. It's physically possible to do that, I guess. You're going to be in training with it for 100 hours, and you're going to get very minimal value out of that 100 hours. But it's much better to just be like, okay, Joe jumps this far. Got that. That's in my head now. This character jumps less far. This character jumps this far. This character jumps faster. This character jumps higher. And that's in your head. And you have a particular strategy that might depend on the jump speeds of characters. And you might be like, okay, this character jumps a little bit faster than this character, but the general strategies are the same. Like, okay, at this spot, he can't hop at me anymore, right? Joe can't reach me. And that spot might be different from character to character, but with Joe, it's right here. What does that mean? Well, that means if I'm in the range, I can potentially move backwards and make him whiff something. That's what it means. And so instead of reapplying the same strategies, and instead of having to rethink about a strategy every time it's a little bit different, you can be like, okay, this is the general strategy, and now this is what changes depending on the character. That's very small changes. Very small changes. Like, the buttons you press to do certain things might change. Like, you might anti-air with a jab, you might anti-air with a heavy punch, you might anti-air with a light kick, but you're still anti-airing. You might anti-air with a DP, and your DP might or might not have invincibility to air attacks. And your DP might have slightly more range, or less range, or more vertical height on it. Or more startup. Maybe you get a combo off of a DP. Maybe you need super. Maybe your character gets a little bit more damage off of the anti-air. For certain meter. Maybe your character gets more damage off of a counter hit anti-air. And these are things that you can learn, and they're useful. But do you know how to anti-air? Anyway. What's up with Xiaohai? He's good. He's creative. He's able to take these things and, like, understand why they work. I tell you what he's not doing. He's not being like, Joe jumps 500 pixels. That's not what he's doing. He is good at envisioning scenarios in his head that have not yet happened to him. And predicting what would happen in that scenario given certain things happening. Given certain choices from both players. Like, the chance that I've ever been playing Joe at this range against Isla on this stage at this spacing is very small. But I know that if I hit heavy kick, it's not gonna work. They're out of range. Because I know the range of my heavy kick. And that's simple. People get that. People get, oh, you have to be standing within the range of your moves for them to hit. People get that. That's easy. Now apply it to everything else. Because there's an infinite number of possibilities. Literally. Well, I guess not literally, because there's a time limit. There's a finite number of possibilities. The hard part is grouping things together that should be together. And you might be wrong sometimes, is the thing. You might be wrong sometimes. Sometimes moving backward 1 pixel means nothing. Sometimes moving backward 1 pixel means everything. That's the hard part. Is being like, okay, when does the complicated stuff matter and when does it not matter? And Xiaohai is good at doing that. Xiaohai is good at saying, this is when this matters and this is when this doesn't matter. And his brain is focused on the things that do matter because he's experienced enough to not have to think about it. He instinctively knows when he's able to do something and when he's not able to do something. Like if I do this, I know that I can go in and go for a mix-up. But that might depend, you know? Like what if I do this? Like this. It's close, but I might be able to. What if I do this? Kind of. It's like the same situation. What if I do this? It's close. Maybe. But that looks worse. What about this one? That's better. What about this one? It's the same as like the light version. You know? Or like, what about this one? Uh-oh. That one doesn't look feasible. That one's probably not possible. Yeah. Especially if I jump backwards. But Xiaohai doesn't need to think very hard about that. He's like, oh, I've been in this situation before, or something similar to it. So I know whether or not I can get pressure. He's like, okay, I can't get pressure, so I'll throw a fireball instead. Whereas a player who can't do that will be like, oh, okay, I can't get pressure. Now I'll throw a fireball. Now that I've seen it and I've thought about it, and I'm like, okay, this won't work. Now I'll throw a fireball, and now they get jumped on and they die. Because they had to think about it. And they didn't know, they thought. And every person can do this. There's nothing magical. There's no wizard spell craft going on. Obviously. He's not possessed by the KoF demons. It's just that he's thought about these things in the past. I guarantee you, 20 years ago, he didn't know this. 20 years ago, he would have done this and been like, oh, wait. I should have thrown a fireball. That's what he's saying. Bad players are saying, oh, I can't throw a fireball here. Xiaohai is saying, oh, I should have thrown a fireball earlier. That's what I should have done. Then the next time it happens, he does. And he doesn't have to think about it. He just does it. It's a very feely game. It's a very adaptive game. Also, you have to pay attention. You can't not pay attention in this game, because things are generally a lot weaker in this game than they are in Street Fighter. Like, just general tactics are weaker, because you can't get combos off of your overheads without max mode. Only certain characters can combo off of their command throws. And even then, you have extra throw invincibility off of everything, and movement is faster, which means that the chance of you getting in range of a throw is very small. Like the classic Daigo is to be at like full screen, walk forward, and throw, which is not going to happen in KoF. It is simply not possible. You're not going to be here and then walk forward, and then I can't even do it for several reasons. It's just not going to happen. The game's too fast. So throws are weaker. I wouldn't say DPs are weaker, but DPs are like the same. Although they end up being weaker because the one on offense has incentive to block more because of their throws being on a delay. Is it a genuine depth or an artificial difficulty? What does that even mean? It's just a different kind of depth. And KoF has different depths to it. Like, you could say Guilty Gear Xrd is deep because you have to learn a different combo for every character that you play against. That's depth. It's like, okay, sure, that's depth. I don't care about that depth, personally. That's a boring depth. KoF has a different kind of depth, where it's like, I can do a bunch of things. At any point in time, I might do one of like 20 things. And they all might work, and they're all viable. And none of them are really just superior to others. Not really. None of them are objectively bad. And that's terrifying to a Street Fighter player. It's like, oh god, I have 20 things that I should be doing. That is going from a beginner. No, let's see. That is the process of going from an intermediate level player to a high level player. Is learning to do all those things. There's a lot of them. And there's a lot of them that you should do more often than others, and there's a lot of them that you should do less often than others, depending on the scenario. And the character, and whatever, and the meters, whatever. But then the stuff past that point is, okay, I know how to do everything. My opponent knows how to do everything. Now let's slow it down, because I know he knows what I might do, and I know he knows the counter to that. So what if I do it a little bit differently? The game actually slows down. So all the way through the intermediate learning process is acceleration. You're just trying to do as much stuff as possible while making sure the opponent doesn't do as much as possible. And you're trying to identify, okay, these are the things he's doing, I know how to shut that down. You're playing too aggressively, so I'm gonna do this. You're playing too aggressively, so I'm gonna build a wall. Oh, you're building a wall? I know where the hole in that wall is, because there's always a hole. Oh, you're throwing fireballs? I'm gonna do this. That's the intermediate learning process. Is being like, your strategy's not good enough. Your strategy is not complete. And I know a strategy that beats your strategy. Overall. I wouldn't even say this game is hard. I would say it's fundamentally different, because in Street Fighter it's like, okay, my opponent does what? And what do I need to do to beat that? In KoF, it doesn't stop there. It's not like, how do I beat this? Okay, I know how to beat this now. That's not how it works. That's usually how your opponent works. It's like, okay, this is what my opponent is doing. I have solved my opponent now, because I know what they can and can't do. But that's not how the game works. Because what happens when both players don't make mistakes? And when both players are capable of doing things that the game lets them do? Then it becomes a lot more interesting. And that simply just does not happen. That transition cannot happen. Or I would even say it happens immediately. You're already in that stage. it doesn't take a year to get there. It doesn't take 10 years to get there, like it does with KoF. And then once you get there, it's boring. It's not interesting anymore. Because there's just not enough. There's not enough variance. You know? If you say to yourself, I think my opponent will DP, what do? You block. If you say to yourself, I think my opponent will throw, what do? You take it. If you say to yourself, I think my opponent will command throw, what do? You jump or maybe backdash. I think my opponent will jump at me, so I'm going to play a certain way and not take any risks that will lose to jumps. And then when they jump, I'm going to DP. I think my opponent will throw a fireball, so I'm going to jump right now. That's a lot of Street Fighter. That is a large part of beginner and intermediate Street Fighter. Once you get to high-level Street Fighter, it's footsies. It's walking. It's knowing the range of your attacks and being able to stand at that spot, right there, where your attack will barely reach, because the player who is better at that will be able to press their buttons sooner, which will make them win. And there are mind games there. There is depth there. There is stuff there. But it's fundamentally different. It's fundamentally different. Because all the other stuff is stronger. Like, if you miss an anti-air in Street Fighter, you're bad. If you block something and don't punish it on block, you're bad. If you don't jump a command grab, that's horrible. If you jump and they didn't throw a fireball and they anti-aired you, that's horrible. If you don't know an obscure footsies concept, like predictive poking, it's meh. You'll lose to the good players, but you'll still reach diamond rank online, or whatever the highest rank is. You'll still beat 95% of players, because you know how to anti-air, and you know your basic mix-ups, you know how to use command grabs, you know your frame traps, you know your block strings, you know your combos. And just the value of being able to make decisions based on your opponent is much lower than the value of making decisions based on what should be done, objectively speaking. And in KoF, it's the opposite. The things that are important are, what is my opponent capable of doing as a player, as a human? What might they do? Maybe they're timid. Maybe they don't want to go in. If they don't want to go in, then you shouldn't really play defensively. You should not really have a defense because they don't have an offense. Maybe they're too aggressive. If they're too aggressive, then play defensively. And really put a lot of high stakes in your defense. You can't really do that. You can't really do that in Street Fighter because, like, when you watch a match of Street Fighter and you don't know who's playing, like say you have 20 different Ryu players, what are the chances that you'll watch a match and be like, yeah, that's this guy's Ryu's. That's definitely Dio playing a Ryu right there. What are the chances of that happening? It's just it's much lower than if someone plays KoF. And you can call that player expression, I guess. KoF is not really a video game. I mean, it's literally a video game. But the reason you play it is not because it's a video game. The reason you play it is because it is an environment that lets two players interact with each other in very interesting ways. Street Fighter is more of a video game. Most of the appeal of Street Fighter is not in the player-on-player interaction. It's there. It has footsies, but it's not nearly as prevalent. Street Fighter VI looks to be more interesting in that regard, but we'll see how it pans out. That's also not to say that the game is worse. I mean, Street Fighter V is worse, but Street Fighter in general is not fundamentally worse than KoF. It's just different, and I prefer KoF. That doesn't work. Here's how I would summarize that. KoF makes you think more continuously. Whereas Street Fighter, you don't really need to think that hard about something once you've already thought hard about it. Once you learn something in Street Fighter, it's there. And those things exist in KoF, but there's a lot more stuff in KoF that you need to be able to pay attention. Because the things that might work against one opponent might not work against the other opponent. And again, those things exist in Street Fighter, but they're not nearly as impactful to the game as they are in KoF. That is KoF. For the first 10 years you play it. I've been playing KoF for about 10 years, so I'm starting to get there, at least on a mental level. What happened there? Oops. Hello. $365. Horrible. But it's still more. It is technically the highest stun for one bar that I found. You like Virtua Fighter, right? It doesn't have a guard button instead of holding block in Mortal Kombat. Is it better to use pad for such games? It does have a guard button. The controller you use for Virtua Fighter, I don't think matters too much. Game knowledge is far more important than what controller you use. That being said, I think there are hard combos, I just don't know them, because I don't play much of Virtua Fighter. Why do MK players use pad then? I don't know. Mortal Kombat sucks. So a character matchup at a high level and player skill level. An amateur can beat a veteran if he has matchup advantage. There are certain matchups like that in Street Fighter games, but the good players don't play the bad characters, so that doesn't usually happen. But there's several things that contribute to that. Firstly, the game is so weak universally that even if a character's general strength compared to the rest of the cast is not indicative of how strong they are in an individual matchup. There can be a character that is lower on the tier list who beats a character that is higher on the tier list. The classic example is Gouken versus Hugo in Street Fighter 4. It's like, Gouken sucks, but he beats Hugo. And Hugo's not trash, but he's trash against Gouken. And things like this can only happen when you have like fundamentally different types of options between your characters. The second thing that happens is that the game is very highly it's variable, which means that your relative skill compared to the opponent increases your chances of winning at a much lower rate than games like KoF. Games like KoF have more rounds and more opportunity to make choices in abstract ways, because your health does not regenerate between rounds fully. So the result of that is that a smaller increase of skill, or a smaller difference of skill, will result in that player will result in the better player being the winner more often, if that makes sense. Also, do you think it's likely KoF 13 will only have rollback on consoles, seeing as the beta doesn't seem to be on PC? The betas are basically always on console. I mean, not basically always, but there have been betas in the past that are console only. I believe the KoF 15 beta before it came out was on console only. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. I don't remember, but there have definitely been console exclusive betas. But based on the advertisement, the KoF 13 rollback patch will release on consoles only. And we might get it for PC later. What advertisement? The release or the announcement trailer. It says PS4 and Switch, and does not advertise PC or Steam. What's on the menu today? I am doing Joe combos. 280. Correct. The open beta test is guaranteed only on console. I think it's only on PlayStation, right? I don't remember. And I don't care because I'm not going to get it. Do I find myself spending more time in the lab than actually playing? Depends. There are several factors that go into that. One is how complicated is the game, and that affects how much I'm in the lab in the beginning. That affects how long I am in the lab before going online for the first time. Also, how popular is the game? If the game is popular, then you have people to play against. If the game is not popular, then you really don't have a choice but to be in the lab most of the time. Thirdly, do I lose? Because if I lose, then I should go to the lab and figure out why I lost. If I'm winning and I don't know why I'm in the lab, then I shouldn't lab. Thanks for happening with issue activation in KoF. Searching and double tap everything after BC, but I kind of sorted this out. Haha, cheers. No problem. Mostly in the lab, because I do go to the Discord, to the First to 10 Discord. I'll look for a set. Can I do this? It's annoying. $80 versus... Huh. $180, $218. $218. This is more damage. What makes a top tier in KoF? Very small differences. Like, in most fighting games, the top tiers are like say the average character in a Street Fighter game is power level 100, and the top tiers are like power level 110, and the weak characters go down to like 95, 90, 80. In KoF, if the average character is power level 100, the top tiers are power level 101. Maybe 100.5. So the things that make the top tier stronger are very small, and depend on the character. In this game, there are some characters who are just a little bit better because they deal a little bit more damage. There's Geese, who's a little bit better because he's so safe and all his stuff is active. He's just kind of annoying. Joe's a little bit better because of his fireball and his corner combos. Iori does more damage with his high-end supers. Like he just does so much damage right now. Yeah. In the game, have strong user assumptions. Every character should be very viable. Yes, correct. Every single character is viable, but the thing is, okay, so when you're playing a game like Street Fighter 4, someone can play Gouken and win because there's a character called Hugo, and Hugo loses to Gouken, even though Gouken sucks. That's why you have high character diversity in Street Fighter 4, is because every character has at least one winning matchup. Because the game is so weird, and different characters have fundamentally different options that interact in different ways, which means that a higher tier character does not necessarily beat a lower tier character, which means that the quote-unquote high tier characters change depending on the characters being played. Like, if Hugo is being played by most players, suddenly Gouken is broken because everyone's playing Hugo and Gouken beats Hugo. That's why Makoto is strong in Street Fighter 3, because Makoto does well against all of the high tier characters like Yun and Chun-Li. Makoto does well against those characters. That doesn't happen in KoF. That doesn't happen because each character is fundamentally playing the same game, which means that it's not really possible to have a character who is higher in tier but loses to a character that's lower on the tier list. Because the only way for that to happen is if they're playing completely different games. Different mind games, different strategies. I like having people to play with, but KoF is not that big in SEA. I've always wanted to try Street Fighter and probably will get 6, but I'm not sure I like the look and character designs. Other recommendations. What are you looking for in a fighting game? Oh, fighting games that you think are well designed. Well designed is not objective, that is very subjective. I can tell you what games not to play. Don't play Street Fighter V. Don't play any NRS game, so Injustice and Mortal Kombat. Don't play any... Well, it depends on what you're looking for, but don't play any anime game or versus game, because those games are not balanced. That includes Skullgirls and Power Rangers. That's it. You can play whatever else you want. Oh, don't play Dive Kick. What else is left? Street Fighter, KoF, I mean, I can open up my Steam page. All your 3D games. So you have Tekken, Soul Calibur, Dead or Alive 6, Virtua Fighter. All this still exists. You have Fantasy Strike, which is Street Fighter. It's Street Fighter 2, but it's really boring. You have Fexel. You have Garo. You have Killer Instinct. That's a good one. Killer Instinct. You have Melty Blood. I don't think Melty Blood's an anime game because it doesn't have bursts. So you can play Melty, that's fine. You could play Samurai Showdown. You can play Street Fighter Cross Tekken. It's basically Street Fighter 4 but better, but harder to play. And you can play Unist, which is like Melty Blood but weirder. And you can play Yatagarasu, which is like Street Fighter 3. Does KI have a large player base on Microsoft? So KI has crossplay between every single version, as long as you're playing the same version of the game, like Season 3. However, the ranked modes, for ranked modes only, Steam is separated. So Steam ranked can only play against other Steam ranked players, but all the other versions can play against all other versions in ranked. And if you're not playing ranked, all versions can play together. And I don't know how big the game is, but the game is fun. I like KI. It's good. It was better. it was better than they added more characters. But anyway, there's probably a bunch of other games as well that I haven't mentioned that are good, but those are just the ones that were in my Steam library that you might like, and they're all different. Let's try this. Whoops. Between KI Tekken and Melty Blood, what would you pick? If I had to play one of those competitively for a long time, I would pick Tekken. I think. If I had to play one of those for fun for a year, I would probably pick Killer Instinct. Maybe. But there are probably more people playing Melty Blood. Also, just on a systematic level, I think Melty Blood is more fair. So if I had to play competitively for a year, I would probably pick Melty Blood. But if I had to play competitively for 10 years, I would play Tekken. 255. 280. Whoa, really? What the heck? This is just objectively better. What? What is this? No way, I had to have done that wrong. $255 stun. Huh. Okay. How about that? And 280. Well then, this combo's useless, and this combo's useless. Huh. Okay. That is more stun. Right? 60 versus 70. And it's the same damage, I think. Yeah. That's weird. There you go. That is maximum stun. 290 stun off of 2 lights. For no meter. 0 meter. Okay. Cool. If I do this, it's even more. I'm gonna reach. Do you play Strive? No. Let's see, let's figure out last time I played Guilty Gear. Oh, I did play Strive when someone came out, Bridget came out. Guilty Gear Strive. Last played November 24th. Anyway, whoops. Let's see. try this combo. Why do so many people play Strive though? Because it's easy. You don't have to work very hard to get good at Guilty Gear Strive. And it looks good. The graphics are good. I have uploaded, I think, 3 videos about Guilty Gear Strive, and they're all really short. Multi-blood Tab Lumina looks way better. Graphically? I disagree. Oops. Strive do have its charm until you realize, wait, I've already learned everything about the game after a week of playing. And none of my choices matter. Because I'm gonna get hit by Potemkin one time and die. It is 460. I can do 470 here and then 267. The character designs in Melty Blood are more engaging than the character designs in Guilty Gear? Are we playing the same Melty Blood? They're all just wearing t-shirts. Sure. And yes, Guilty Gear Strive is restricted. I mean, every game is restricted, right? Like, I can't just be like, oh, I want to do a command grab from full screen in 1 frame with a zoner, you know? Wow, my zoner doesn't have a 1 frame full screen command grab? I feel so restricted. It's like, what? You need to compare it to other things. Being less complex and execution mechanics makes you focus more on decision making and macro game in general. You mean Guilty Gear Strive? I disagree. I disagree. Because those things are separate. So if you hit, for example, an example of things where that could be the case is, let's see. In a game like Smash Bros. Melee, in Melee, when you when you were in the neutral game, your execution is very important. And the better you are at execution, the cleaner your movement is and the stronger your neutral game is. It is just... And there's like no limit to that either, because you have reaction time, right? So like the faster your reaction time is down to the frame, the better the better you are at neutral. And it's really useful. It's actually it's incredibly impactful on the game to have 1 frame better reaction time than your opponent. Because like, imagine I could just start a forward hop in KoF and suddenly be like, no, I'm going backwards now. That's melee. You can alter your jump trajectory while moving, while jumping, down to the frame. Every frame you have complete control. And so in that case, going from melee to ultimate, I would say the reduction in execution importance on the neutral game makes the neutral game more impactful, more important, more focused. Because those two are linked together. Because the neutral game is your execution. And so the value of your execution goes down. When you're talking about Guilty Gear Strive and that game having easier execution, that is not tied to the neutral game. Not really. Like, yeah, you need to react in the neutral, but it's not that big of a deal. At least not nearly to the extent that it is in Melee. Most of your neutral game in Guilty Gear games is, this is what my character does, so I'm gonna do it. This is what their character does, so when they do that, I shouldn't do this to approach. Assuming my character's neutral is approaching, which it is for most characters. Those things are completely separate. So I don't think that making the execution easier makes the neutral game more important. Because your execution never really mattered during neutral. Your combos might change, and this is very obvious from going from like Street Fighter 4 to Street Fighter 5. In Street Fighter 4, there are some combos that players chose not to do because they were too hard, and so they couldn't do them 100% of the time, especially with like Evil Ryu. Like, some players, when they played Evil Ryu, they would combo to the medium axe kick and then DP because it's easier, but it's more damage and more stun and just better overall to do a link into a crouch medium punch, or maybe you even do more like you do crouch light punch, stand medium punch, light axe kick, FADC, and then do it again. You know, there are certain players who do different combos based on how confident they are in their execution. That went away in Street Fighter V, because every player could do all the combos. That just completely went away. And so, yes, those two situations were linked, which means that making one of them easier fundamentally changes the way you think about the other thing. Let's try this. Come on. Oops. Just frames. Street Fighter V does not have charge partitioning. The only game that I know of that has charge partitioning is Street Fighter 3. So either he didn't say charge partitioning, or he lied, or he was making a joke. What?
Nice combo.
420, 415? Yes, correct. Why'd that do more damage? That should do the same damage as this. That was weird. Weird. Okay, I wrote the damage number down wrong. Frame perfect charging using an obscure technique called jump canceling and charge partitioning. Okay. Well, Street Fighter V does not have charge. Charge partitioning is a mechanic that is not present in Street Fighter V. So do with that what you will, but he's not accurate. This should do more damage even if I do this. Basically, super hard combos exist? No. Have you thought of switching to the hitbox? Yes. Yes.
Go for broke. Nice combo.
215 or 415. My not combos are not hard. My not combos are not hard. People just suck. They're harder than other characters in the game. And they're only harder when she has V-Trigger active. Which is like once per round, if that. Ugh. What? Ugh. Oops. Oops. What is happening here?
Nice.
480. 480. And I found a match. Four 17. This combo's useless, and this combo's useless. Yay! I won't be able to run Tekken 8? You just bought a new PC, but it won't be able to run Tekken 8? Why'd you buy a new PC? I feel like Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 will be about the same. These are laptops, not PCs, since I need the mobility. They make functional gaming PCs, although they have a overheating problem.
Select members.
They usually don't put in good fans into those PCs, into laptops.
Select order. Select stage. It's about to be a party up in here.
But if you're playing if you're on Wi-Fi, you probably shouldn't be playing fighting games anyway. So it's like,
Round one. Ready? Go.
up there. It's always in range of that move, huh? Yeah. I remember you. I remember you. Got a new team, I see. Really? Punish. Do a mix up. Nice mix up. Stop waiting for me to do something and do something. Stop waiting for me to do something and do something. Please. Stop doing that. Yeah. He just won't play the game, I guess. He just does not want to play the game. Like, why are you playing the game if you don't want to play the game? Man. Okay. Time to be patient. Time to do literally nothing. Time to get a life lead and then do nothing.
Round one. Ready? Go!
Of course, doesn't hit you. Of course. Of course. Yeah. I guessed wrong. I got bored. I got bored. Do a mix-up. With any of your characters. Like, just do something. I got bored. That's your mix-up? Just do a command grab? And have a whiff in my face?
Reach for the top. Ready? Go!
Yeah, I'm getting bored again. I'm getting bored again. That was not a real mix-up. You're really willing to just sit there and chip me out the entire game? Okay. Like, I'm trying to make things fairly obvious to him, but he just is not getting it. So... he's being very stubborn.
Round one. Ready? Go!
The lag. I'm holding block. Really? That is unbelievable. My attacks are just going through your face. There's like 5 times that round where I hit you in the face with a jump attack and it didn't do anything. Again, you're supposed to be beating those. Like, fundamentally, those should win, but they're just not. Where's my DP? I hit DP. Oh, I'm dead. Really? Dead in 2 hits to a point character, huh? I miss KoF 13. obvious. Yeah. It's so weird. If I do nothing, he does nothing. But if I hold up, he starts going on offense. I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
If you want to know how to win, this is the person to ask. Winner!
When I go on offense, he has a play style that beats a defensive play style. And then when I go on defense, he tries to build his play style around beating offense. And now he's just leaving. Why are you joining the First to 10 Discord? Asking for games and then leaving after 3. Liberals, man. Okay. Hey, just even no answer. He has no explanation for his actions. Okay.
Registration.
Didn't get what I signed up for.
Select member.
And now I don't have time to do a full First to 10. So
It's about to be a party up in here.
I'm just gonna lab for 30 minutes. I just got scammed. So let's try this.
Techniques on display here.
But I don't use the general KoF Discord because I want to do First to 10s. I want to do long sets, not 3 matches and then my opponent leaves. Frustrating. Really? 385. That is horrible. That is worth. That's. Oh, I did level 1. That's why. I'm counting the stun that Joe does. So see where it says total stun in the top left? Bam, now it says 930. That means that move did 70 stun. So this combo does 385 stun. There you go. 615 subtracted from 1000 is 385. I could also do a max mode combo. Let's try that actually. Let's do this, and it's a max mode combo. Let's see what happens. Like that. This should theoretically... Actually, no, you don't do that. No. I remember this. Depleted stun is a stun. It's just a stun. You get a free combo. I have a wiki. Anyway, Joe had a weird corner combo here. Is that a hash thing? It is. As far as I'm aware, there is no other text-based resource that has combos for every character, like very comprehensive combos for every character. There's probably some out there, but I don't use them because I make my own. Yep. I have currently 4 456 hours in this game. And maybe 100 of those hours have been combos. Coming up with combos. Maybe 100. Maybe like 50. 75. There it is. You can dash. Like that. How would you come up with your own combos? Especially for a game like Tekken, which doesn't have a wiki either, I think. For Tekken, I mean, the hardest but most comprehensive way is to try every single combination. But you can eliminate moves that are less combo friendly and less damage, if that makes sense. So if you have a move that's, you know, got really bad startup, really bad recovery, it knocks the opponent away, and it doesn't deal significantly high damage, then you probably shouldn't use it in combos. Oh, I can get one more match. Is there any general underlying combo structure / theory to understand? The way Tekken 7 works, you basically get a certain number of hits before the opponent is knocked too far with each hit for the combo to continue. It's usually about, it's like 5 to 7, but that's a general rule. That's not actually 100% true all the time. So just try to get as many big hits early on as possible.
Round 1, ready, go!
Really. Yeah. Nice connection, bro. Okay. Oh, he's gone. KoF rooms sometimes break. Generally, that's a problem with the game, so you have to like restart the game, and then your rooms will start working again. And across games, combos look different. Because, like, Tekken 6 had the bound. Same with Tekken Tag 2, but also had, like, weird tag stuff. And Tekken 7 had the corkscrews instead of the bounds. And Tekken 8's having the whole rage system, or the... What is it called? Heat? The whole heat system.
Ready? Go!
Okay.
King of Fighters 15. Registration. Select stage.
What the heck is this?
Nothing will stop this.
Is that really like that up there? Oh no. I was typing in a room code. No. What? I guess you wouldn't do this combo, would you? You would do the meterless. This one. So 19, that should be 21. That's definitely wrong, what I just said. Wait, hold on. So it's... Oh, you're supposed to not block. That's what it is. Get over here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 15 is 24. So it should be 24, and then the 2 hits should bring it up to 26. Yes. what's the combo listed? 5D. Okay.
Nice.
800 stun for 2 bars. Hello? Hello? It does no freaking damage. He can do more damage than that for 1 EX bar. For a quarter of the meter, but it does 800 stun. Come on, man. What is this? 800 stun. Holy moly. This is a zoner, by the way. Dear Lord. This game has some problems. I think Joe's one of them.
Show no mercy.
Early.
Show no mercy.
So if he spends an EX bar, what is this? It's this. This is the opener. And then the EX bar is this. It's a very long combo. Wait, what? Okay, this one. Whoops. How many normals? You have 4 buttons. And you can do standing, crouching, jumping. So that's 12. You also you also have the CD normal, standing and jumping. So that's 14. So every single character in the game has 14 normals. Then in the command list, you typically have 1 or 2 or 3 command normals. Joe has 3. And then special moves, I think the lowest you have is 3. But then some characters have upwards of like 7. But it also depends on, like for example, Bakuretskin here has different follow-ups, so that will also change how you count them. Like, is each follow-up a different move or what? You know. Also, most special moves have 3 versions. Some have 2 versions. Some have 1 version. Like you have light, heavy, and EX versions. Some have multiple versions. Some have 4 versions. Like they have light punch version, light kick version, heavy punch version, and heavy kick version, and like an EX version. So there's It's weird. And he's a zoner because he's a fireball. And an uppercut. So he's a zoner. And the frame data on the fireball is good enough to let him zone. No. No. But he can also do 800 stun in the corner off of lights for 2 bars. So... take that as you will. Oops. Like that's the thing about this game. Is like, imagine if Dalsum could do an 80% stun combo in the corner. It's like, that's not okay. But because it's KoF, it is okay. Because it's KoF, it's okay. Yes, there are also close far variations of like 90-ish% of your normals. So this is far light punch, and this is close light punch. Close light kick, far light kick, heavy punch, heavy punch, heavy kick, heavy kick. So if you consider those as different normals, then you have 4 more normals. Some normals don't change from close to far, but I'm pretty sure they do technically change. They just look the same and function the same. And also, as far as supers, every character has 2 supers, two level 1 supers that also have level 2 versions, so that's 4 supers. Some characters have an additional super which has a level 1 and level 2 version, so that's 6 supers. Some characters instead have a level 2 only super, so that's 5 total supers for those characters. And on top of that, every character has a climax, and some characters have 2 climaxes. That's Geese and Rock, so the 2 Howards. And there's one more, I think, but I don't remember who it is. Has 2 climaxes. What? And for the most part, a super doesn't have multiple versions with the button you press, but there are some exceptions. Like the light punch super is the same as the heavy punch super. In Joe's case, that's how it is for most. Some supers do change though, namely like fireball supers. But there's also ones that just are not the same at all. So. No, to the launcher, no. What? I delayed that so much. Whoops. It's a lot of stuff to remember? Not really. Oh, you mean the combo? Yes. But, like, the command list is pretty short. Like, in Street Fighter, you have 50% more normals. Because you have mediums. So yeah. Also, certain characters have air normals that change depending on what jump you're doing. Namely, there are a few moves that are vertical jump only. So if you jump forward or backward, or if you hop, they change. And those are usually instant overheads. Of which Joe has none. No, that's the wrong move. Oops. No. $925 stun. Oh, I did the wrong thing. I did this. Oh, whatever. 925 stun. And 383. Alright, KoF combo is really hard. Nope. If you want hard combos, play Marvel 3. And like Joe's combos are kind of hard. Most of it is memorization. I'll do it first. I'll do it first to 5. First of 5. But no, combos in this game are easy for several reasons. I made a video about that, about combos in KoF 13. They made them even easier in 15. And shorter. So, like, not only is the game easier because you have a buffer on normals, but you also have shorter combos. And typically, you have more time to do motions as well. Because things are slower, a little bit slower. What is this team? Benimaru's good.
Nothing will stop this show.
I guess he has the order, right? No way he jumps in at around start, right? There's no chance.
Round 1. Ready? Go!
A little laggy. Oh, really? Is that not combo?
Round 1.
Should have done CD, I guess.
Reach for the top. Ready? Go!
Oh no! What are you doing? Oh, I'm dead. Bam, bam. We get level 2. Yep. Read like a book. And yes, you're right. Marvel combos are just light, medium, heavy launcher, medium, medium, heavy ender. Sure. If you want to do a third of their life, you can do that. But there are combos that do 100% of their life. Really, that didn't hit you? Come on. I knew you were gonna jump. Should have picked a better character. Oh, lag. Holy moly. Oh, I didn't block. What are you doing? I'm so confused. I'm just gonna block. Really? Unfortunate. I'm dead. Climax. What? Why are you spending meter? His playstyle is... what's the word? Astonishing. Kukuri is not a zoner. Punish. Drop. Kukuri is not a zoner, but he has a very fast fireball that reaches decently full screen. But the problem is it doesn't go forever, and it's not... He doesn't have a slow version. A zoner in this game needs to have a slow fireball that they can follow in from like half screen to get offense. Zoners in this game want offense.
Ready? Go!
Interesting choice. What? My character just can't block? That was weird. No way. Characters with fireballs are not necessarily zoners. Is Dan a zoner? Oh, he got me.
Player 2 wastes no time evening the score. Burn to fight. Ready? Go!
Okay. There's your offense. You didn't practice your offense.
Ready?
Really? What are you doing? I don't understand what you're doing. That wasn't a punish? How did it not block? I held right and mashed roll. It should either roll or block. That was weird. No punish, really? The only zoners I know are Peacock, Justice, and Axel. Axel doesn't have a projectile, kind of. See, zoning in KoF is fundamentally different. There is no character in this game who can consistently win against good opponents by having a strategy built around never getting near the opponent ever. That's not what zoners are in this game. Okay. Like, if I don't do anything, you're just gonna lose.
Stand your ground. Ready? Go! Ha! Tua! Ta! Ta! Kurei! Ha! Ha! Ta! Ta! Sia! Ha! Sia! Ta! Tua!
It's still DPs, huh? That did a lot of damage for a DP.
Round 3. Ready? Go!
That's not what I wanted. That is not what he should have done. Punish.
Player 2 needs a miracle! Round 4. Ready? Go!
Alright, yo. Oh, we got it. No.
Neither side is giving an inch.
Then he guessed right. Alright, time to do nothing.
Final round.
And then he loses. How did I get DP?
All eyes are on the winner of that fierce fight. Winner!
You can kind of play like that with Athena, actually, if you just do nothing. Except zone, kind of. Not really, though. You're not playing a complete game plan if you're doing that. Interesting. That really hit me, huh? Deja vu. That's how you lost Mete-kun last round, or last game.
Round 2. Ready? Go!
Oh, he got me. Don't do that. He's so simple. He doesn't understand that you don't have to do that.
Burn to fight. Ready? Go! No!
You're not forced to do one thing to beat one thing in this game. And so he has something in mind, and he has a counter to it in mind, and he just does it. Which is good, but what about all the other things that might have also worked? Really? Don't jump. He jumped right as I said don't jump.
Great fight! Mad respect for the winner! Winner!
One more.
Round one. Ready? Go!
He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. Like, I don't know how many times I need to blow him up for it before he's like, maybe I shouldn't do... Maybe this strategy isn't working. It's not a hard knockdown. Bad. I'm getting hit by the things that he shouldn't be doing, which means I should stop doing anything and just do this.
Stand your ground. Ready? Go! Like you can. Like you can. No!
I wanted to super that, but it's too laggy. My brain can't. If that were delay based netcode, I might already want a reaction time, but not like that. You don't have to jump there. You don't have to. You don't have to. Like, failing to jump a fireball is not a mistake. It is a missed opportunity. It's not a mistake. I get that move. I wanted to do a throw, it gave me a freaking quarter circle backward. How did I get... What? I did crouch jab and the forward light punch and it gave me a command grab.
That is a nail biter. Keep an eye on this matchup. Winner!
僕の血がどれだけ体を苛もうが俺は宿命に抗ってみせる。
Alright. Time for me to end the stream.